Welcome back. Uh, I'm Gigi Garth, and this is the Gigi Garth Beach Reading Back to School Book Report series. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll be reading Chapter 3 of Dragon Slayer of the Pink Sand Dead Sea Desert Oasis. It is my fifth book, published by Jumpmaster Press, and you can wait for the next installment to hear the whole book, or you can buy it at the link below from Jumpmaster Press together with my first book. That is a compilation of my first four novels that were published 25 years ago, and great for teenagers, young adults. And this Dragon Slayer is for 18 and up. It is a G-rated millennial fairy tale, and it deals with some rich themes that moms might not like their teenagers to read about, or they might like it. So leave it to mom. So thank you for your time. And this is Chapter 3 of the Dragon Slayer. During the coming days, while Slayer's one wish was steeping like a bespoke English blend in the great brown teapot of the universe, Genie got Slayer's Corsair serviced. The mechanic was none other than Phil K., whom everyone called Filk. Luckily for Slayer, Filk was an acclaimed monk in residence who authored Zen and the Art of Corsair Maintenance. After a visit to the repair hangar, the large miracle worker Genie set about to arrange for myriad earthly delights on our hero's blindfolded behalf. Genie squired Slayer from scenic vista to scenic vista, each time tying and untying his pink silk blindfold. "Ta-da, the sixth wonder of the oasis!" exclaimed Genie. "Ta-da, the seventh wonder of the oasis!" etc. The glorious surprises were interspersed with frequent bar hopping. Why but to delight him, thought Genie, smiling evermore, perhaps too wistfully. Initially, Genie was helpful like this just because it was the right thing to do. Slayer was new, and Genie had been raised to welcome guests with great fanfare. So, as the two new associates explored and ate and sipped and sipped and sipped at every venue the oasis had to offer, friendship's seedlings sprouted. Genie enjoyed watching the maidens faint over gallant Slayer. Live entertainment, thought Genie. Reciprocally, Slayer had determined the Genie to be affable, with a wicked sense of fun, a kindred spirit, thought Slayer. Apart from the curveball chemistry that Genie felt for Achilles, another reason to hang around with him soon percolated up from the substratum of Genie's mind. If Achilles was as capable a dragon slayer as his éclat foretold, then ostensibly he could facilitate Genie's one clandestine wish. Unlike every other wish on the planet, Genie's alone could not be fulfilled by the magic lamp, though spawned by a compromising secret related to the lamp. Genie's compromise was dragon-spawned, incurred by one particular dragon, in fact, the vilest crimson dragon. It was not a nice dragon, not that any of them were, but this one had spellbound Genie with neither a kind nor an honorable spell. So every day the Genie obsessed about how to get free, and since the oasis villagers had learned of the renowned dragon slayer whose goal it was to wipe out every last flying torchlier on earth, many an invitation had been issued to Slayer. Finally, Achilles had accepted. When the bard of the oasis announced that Slayer Achilles would soon make a pit stop at the oasis, citizens celebrated and prepared to welcome him grandly. Genie, however, had secretly recited incantations, praying that this real-deal dragon slayer would be the one, once and for all, to man up and free the genie from the curse of the vilest crimson dragon. More on that shall be revealed in due course. For now, Genie removed Achilles' raw silk blindfold, and he found himself in a crush of barefoot belly dancers inside the harem bar and grill. They sallied through the crowd and past the buffet. "Say, Slayer," probed Genie, whose feigned nonchalance jousted eagerness, "you claim you're after dragons, eh? Any one in particular?" As the two unexpected friends bellied up to the bar, a devil-may-care twinkle sparked across Achilles' rugged mien. "Well, Genie, I'll take down any dragon I can find till I deracinate the lot of them," he replied puckishly, wagging four fingers at the barkeep. "My good man, 100% agave, please. Red worm in each." "Brace yourself," replied the bartender. The bar-room mushroomed with veiled belly dancers who gave the impression of jellyfish undulating in a sea of hunched eunuchs in ossified linen that matched the pallor of their skin. Achilles was swiftly jostled by the crowd onto a recamier, and Genie followed. Sitar music emanated from opulent Persian carpets that twanged and sang whilst luxuriating across the floors throughout the spacious establishment. Genie complimented their plush luster. "Take your shoes off, Genie," shrieked one especially lovely silk carpet in hues of blue, green, purple, and saffron. "Damned points on your heels are killing us." "Sorry, dudes," replied the Genie, relinquishing a pair of sharp-heeled, curl-toed slippers with which a dervish whirled away to the shoe-rack by the entry. Content, Slayer smiled as he raised 2 shots of mezcal to examine a red worm in each. Observing Achilles, Genie thought twice, wondering, "Am I an enabler?" Without skipping a beat, however, they downed the piquant libation and its rubicund contents. "Why dragons?" asked Genie diffidently, "as opposed to, say, leviathans?" "Dragons are my thing, Genie." Slayer smiled in a way that lit up the entire harem bar. Equally disconcerted, Genie experienced a jarring loss of focus on all but Slayer's lambent grin. "Tell me more," stuttered Genie, abashed and downright stupefied at having been blinded by Slayer's irrepressible charm. Normally, Genie disdained pretty much everyone. At best, Genie was indifferent to the brio of Legion Oasis visitors whose wayward wishes were to be granted by the sole custodian of the brass lamp. "Dragon slaying's what I do for a living, Genie. It's a niche market." Unassuming, Slayer leaned back and chucked down another shot. "I excelled at it at an early age. Stuck with it." Faltering, Genie took a moment to sip, mesmerized, as Slayer picked the red worm from his teeth and chewed it before swallowing. Genie soldiered on. "Is it what you want to be doing when you're like 85? Slayer thought long and hard before replying. "Insurance liabilities are steep, but I've got many bankable decades of shelf life left in me, more with all the replacement parts available nowadays." "Clearly you don't need replacement parts, Slayer. I mean, just look at you." Genie choked on the words. "You're Stopping short of blurting, "You're perfect for me," Genie blushed, adjusted the folds that comprised the sorcerer's mask, and to which our hero politely turned a blond eye. Recovering, Genie affirmed artfully, You're perfectly healthy, Achilles. Well, my torn Achilles hurts sometimes, confessed Achilles modestly. Ah, so he wasn't perfect. Oblivious to Genie's perfect discombobulation, Slayer continued. Think of it this way, Genie. Stats show that only 77 dragons remain on Earth to challenge me. Genie nodded knowingly and gazed at his lips as he spoke. And Genie, each of these giant winged lizards is nested on a belated king's ransom. Payola pour moi, baby. Plus, it's fun. Cool, murmured Genie, suppressing the urge to plant a big fat smooch right smack on our hero's bewitching smile. Instead, Genie knocked back a shooter and hailed a triple round, thus obviating entirely any lingering concerns of guilt, gout, consumption, or dipsomania. Niche market, exclaimed Genie and Slayer in tandem as they tripped into a giggle fit at the synchronicity of their silly outburst. The two unlikely associates chin-chinned their freshened vials, each replete with a red Mexican moth caterpillar pickled in fermented agave. Tossing back another scorcher, both friends marveled that, quite off the cuff, they had spoken the same random phrase, shouted it out together. After scant longer than a nanosecond of carousing, decadence, and inebriation, the accidental allies had fallen to finishing each other's thoughts. Halfway to the Slayer's wish fulfillment day, the adventitious couple of pub crawlers showed no signs of party fatigue. Slayer seemed utterly contented, although he did rather frequently leap up to brandish his sword and demonstrate his agility when it came to sticking a dragon at a perspicacious angle. Genie, in contrast, ignored pangs of culpability that all this partying might weaken the Slayer's chance of outmaneuvering the worst dragon of them all. Genie just sat there at the bar, immobile on a bar stool, slightly stewed. Genie was especially grateful to have encountered an equal of good cheer who was a blast to hang out with. A man's man, a real man who took no prisoners. Genie just needed to do a great big note to self to chill and focus on business. For each time the Dragon Slayer smiled or sat close at hand, it caused the Genie to stutter or altogether forget entire blocks of thought. Grinning happily, Achilles glanced over. So, Genie, seems we visited all the museums, markets, and bars here in the salty, sink-penned oasis of the former Dead Sea, Slayer slurred. Sick-panned, Genie slurred back through riotous laughter accompanied by a red worm projectile that struck a belly dancer in the navel. Oops, sorry. What else is there to see in this magic place? Slayer's gaze melted Genie's aching heart. Not bored per se, but Slayer was itching to perambulate his appreciable muscles off the tender peach lambskin recamier upon which he lay. He itched to run around. He itched to break a sweat, maybe scale a cliff or deep sea dive to get his blood circulating and oxygenate his brain. Sensing those were not activities Genie would do easily, Slayer elected not to body shame his new friend. And instead, he sat happily sipping Macallan's neat, to which they switched evenings when the desert swelter shed itself down to shivered digits. Even as the belly dancers performed before him, frond-fanned as he was again by the officious gap-toothed eunuch, Slayer longed to do strategic maneuvers. He needed to get a bird's eye of Dragon's Lairland that lay across the pink salt Dead Sea desert. As if reading Slayer's mind, Genie leaned in too close and suggested two solutions. A solution to Slayer's need to get a tactical overview of his quarry's terrain, and another dram of Macallan's. Citadel Bar and Grill in the Central Garden, whispered Genie, with perplexing propinquity. From up there we can scout dragon flight patterns. They've got killer mint juleps, too. I'm all in, exclaimed Slayer, with the very grin that shut down Genie's frontal cortex, causing this otherwise competent magical adult to stammer helplessly. Bit of a hike, though, Slayer. We'll need my magic carpet. Naughty. That's its name, not naughty, but Knot. Genie decided to shut the hell up and demonstrate to Slayer how to unfurl a magic carpet. Come, Naughty. Forthwith, Naughty appeared at Genie's side, flipped itself about in the air, then leveled out, awaiting orders. Naughty hovered and flirted with the sweet silk and Persian carpet, who had complained of Genie's sharp shoes. Genie leaned in closer to Slayer and whispered, "Hop on." Chafing at Genie's closing of the polite social distancing gap between them, Slayer sprang to his feet. "I'll race you, Genie." Slayer glanced back, grinning, thus sparing Genie mortification as he recoiled from his companion. "To the Citadel!" At that very moment, a grave rumbling shook every drink in the house. Ominous clinking of glass silenced guests. Dervishes ceased whirling, harem girls clanging bells snuffed. Naughty, the carpet, dropped to the floor to protect Silky. Eunuchs, bartenders, everyone hit the deck. "Dragon incoming!" trilled the turbaned doorman before he went up in a crisp of smoke, along with all the shoes in the shoe rack by the door. And that, my friends, is the end of Chapter 3 of The Dragon Slayer of the Pink Sand Dead Sea Desert, available at the link below, or you can wait for the next installment for Chapter 4. Thanks for your time. Bye for now.